Hello everyone, welcome to another session of the Ubuntu Engineering Live. We do these every 2 weeks where we get some people from the Ubuntu Engineering team on a broadcast to give us an update on what they've been working on inside Canonical and take any questions that you might have for them and answer them live on the air. You should be watching this on ubuntuonair.com. If you're watching it somewhere else, I recommend you go over there instead. There you'll have the video embedded in the web page, and right below it you'll have an IRC window, which is where you can chat with other people watching the video, as well as ask us your questions. You can start asking questions anytime you think of them. Just start them with the word question in all capital letters, and I'll get a nice highlight so that I don't miss it. Alright, so with me today I have Benjamin, Martin, and Jambor, who are all going to be giving us updates. So we're going to start it off with Martin, who's going to give us an update on the store, which has some neat stuff landed recently.
Hi, thanks, Mike. So I think the highlight for the store is that we finally enabled selling and purchasing of apps on the store. So if you're a developer, you should be able to set a price on your app, whether it's an existing app or a new app, and that'll immediately be available to users. On the latest images of Ubuntu Touch, that's been enabled as well, so you can start purchasing the apps as well. So we've seen some people already take advantage of this, and yeah, looking forward to seeing what. And this is apps and scopes, by the way. Anything that is uploaded to the store. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what folks are going to be doing with this. Let's see. I haven't been on one of these for a while, so a lot of things have happened. We're improving the UI for uploading the app. We're making it a little bit nicer when you basically give us a click package, and the whole processing of it has been drastically improved to be a little bit more reliable, but a little bit more friendly. And we actually have some much cooler plans in place, which the process quite a bit. So we're looking forward to that. Let me think. Most of our efforts recently have been things that are not as visible. So we've been mostly focusing on scalability and robustness of all the parts in the store, which if we do our jobs correctly, you wouldn't even notice, and everything will just work. So we've sort of shifted a lot of focus in that direction. I'm struggling to remember other features that happened recently.
What is the state of automated reviews? We haven't heard an update on that for a little while.
So automated reviews have been on the store for quite a while now. I don't know how many months, but the vast majority of applications that get uploaded to the store get automatically approved and are available to everybody within your application only gets flags for manual review if you're using some sort of special non-supported API, which you, for the most part, wouldn't need. But as the SDK evolves, sometimes there's a transition period, and that gets inspected by a human. There's some inspection of the code to make sure not doing anything. It's generally related to APIs that haven't been properly confined yet. So we try and make as few exceptions as possible, but we also try to make sure developers can still keep moving forward. But today, if you submit an app to the store, chances are it's going to be available for users within a couple of minutes. We've done a lot of translations work as well, so we provide translations both in your click package and in the store's metadata. That's starting to show up on devices as well. So the store has supported that for a while, but we've only in the recent month or two finished the combing through the phone and making sure that all the parts of the UI support translations properly and that the store provides them properly. So if you've been holding back there, I would you go to the store, find your app, and you can see you can add languages and add translations for each of those fields. Yeah, I think that's mostly it.
All right. Do we have any ETA on when a public version of the store, like a public website for it, might be available?
So that's a popular question lately. I don't have an ETA. I would be surprised if it's not live by the year. That's all I can say.
Okay. Looking forward to that. All right,
So,
thank you, Martin. If anyone has questions for Martin about the Ubuntu store, go ahead and start asking them, and we will come back around to them. In the meantime, we'll switch it over to Benjamin to get an update on what he's been working on.
Okay. Yeah, just a quick update on how the tools come along. So in the last weeks, we were working a lot on bug fixes, not so much on new big features. But yeah, at least one of them is worth mentioning. So it's pretty exciting actually. We brought back the QMake project type support. So from with 15.04 change routes, you will be able to have QMake-based projects, create click packages out of QMake, projects. I also worked on improving the devices page layout a little bit. So it was nested in lots of tabs before and not really intuitive. So now it's a nice layout. Everything can be seen just with one look, and yeah, I think it's much better now. And yeah, of course, lots of bug fixes went in. Yeah, things like checking the format of the maintainer field in the wizards and filtering the obsolete and deprecated frameworks out of the drop-down box in the manifest editor, stuff like that. What's next is that we will work on providing more templates for QMake-based projects. So you can, right now there's only one. It's a QMake. It's a main C++ with QML UI. But we will bring also like the QML application with C++ backend and all the other things you have in the CMake world as well. So we have feature parity there. Also, we think about providing a way to automatically migrate projects to run on the Ubuntu phone. So if you have a QMake project, you can start a wizard on it, and it will migrate it at the required manifest file and the policy files and so on. Yeah, that's it for me mostly.
All right. Now, will these QMake projects support cross-compiling also?
Yes.
Okay.
They support it's all the same as you have for the CMake, but it's using QMake. So.
All right. Fantastic. And that'll work with our roots also, or did these need sysroots?
No, it's basically it's that was the biggest part to make it work with the change roots. We figured that on the last sprint, and then we needed to release the new packages and so on to make it work. But it works with change roots from 15.04. With Vivid change roots, it's supported. Yes.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you, Benjamin. All right. We'll move on now to Jean-Bor.
Yay! So UI Toolkit side. What has been baking lately is we went through almost all the bugs that were assigned to the UI Toolkit itself. We managed to clean a couple of really old and invalid bugs, but there are still there are still a bunch of bugs which we couldn't reach, and we still have to check them, whether they are still reproducible or not, whether they are still valid or not, whether those are filed against deprecated components, which unfortunately we don't have the resources to maintain. And yeah, so expect to have some more bug fixing coming for the toolkit in the next in the upcoming month. We had some visual updates, some fixes on the item selector, some really small ones, but these were also made with the same bug triaging and running if work that we've done. You might have noticed that there was in the header section there were some bugs in some cases. You have seen some black line or some unwanted graphics over there, and we cleaned that code as well. There were some tweaks on the checkbox and so on. There was a big fix on the text fields and the text inputs themselves, and the work is still ongoing. We still have a couple of bugs to fix on the text field. Mainly it was the selection, so you can now drag easily, and you can now change the selection on the text input so you don't have to aim anymore that hard the handler itself, so you can just touch over the cursor somewhere and you can just drag, and everything is going to be more reactive as it was before. Then the pop-up positioning is also fixed now. It is it is a kind of compromising between what we can have right now and what design wants. So there will be more tweaks once we are going to reach the popover positioning. So we can position the text selection. We can position the popover over the text selection like centered, and so on. And so there are going to be more fixes coming for the text inputs themselves. There's a new thing coming to the localization support, the context support. So you can now specify a context. So you can have context sensitive translation. You can check like how that works more precisely from the documentation. By the way, everything should be updated in the development branch of the documentation. Yeah, there was a huge update on the alarm services. So especially touching the alarm model. So when you change an alarm data, or you enable, disable, or you remove an alarm, the view is not going to flicker anymore. So it's not going to rebuild the entire model. It is just going to remove or update the item that has been changed, which was previously completely redrawing the whole thing. So this required some backend modifications as well as on the model modifications. This has landed in Vivid yet, so we don't know whether it is going to be picked up in some other branches or not. And then we have a couple of couple of things still ongoing, like this new list item that we were planning for so long, and actually we reach now a phase that we have about 21 merge requests that we are reviewing. So the pace of the review is quite moderate, let's say, in this way. We are at something like 10 of them has been reviewed. So at the end, what you could expect to have from the list item is to support rear and front actions, like these conditional actions. You can have as many actions as you wish to be listed there. You can have you will have the possibility to have clear separation of the layouts. So if you don't need to have any contextual actions in the front or at the end, you don't necessarily need to use the list item if you don't want to, though the performance difference in between the current list item and the simple item is about, let's say, the list item is twice as slow as the item itself, which is quite affordable. What comes to the if you think what functionality is the list item providing, then multi-selection mode is going to be available there as well, and I think that's it. What is going to come still is the expansion functionality and the reordering of the list items inside the list view, which requires some changes. Requires support not just from the list item itself, but as also from a custom list view as well. Other things, there will be common vibrate setting coming to the device, and we are going to react on that. So there will be possibility to turn off the vibra when you press the buttons or when you press the list items. Actually, with the new list item, you won't even have the vibration there anymore. This one will bring some new components as into the system. One service property watcher, which through which you would be able to watch the changes of certain dbus service providers, and there will be a singleton which will control the haptics feedback. So you can freely implant haptics feedback in any of your components, and that is going to be controlled through the system settings. And yeah, I have one more point here about the application theming fixes. We have the current theming does not allow, where depending on how you derive or how you write your own theme, you might not be able to change the theme of for your application to be a custom one. There are some binding loops, and there are some self-theming loops produced by the ambience and the pseudo themes, which we need to fix. If we do fix them, it's a kind of moderate change, so it's not going to be that easy. But that doesn't mean that we are not going to fix it. But this is going to be like the first step towards the sub-theming. So we are going to introduce slowly the sub-theming into the toolkit. Fully will be supported in 1.2. At least that is the target. And yeah, I think this is in a nutshell.
All right, thank you. If anyone has any questions on the SDK or the UI components, you can go ahead and ask them now. Jean-Bord, do you know if there's any new components or changes to existing components that are planned to support desktop use? I saw that Michael Zanetti's been working on the window management for desktop mode of Unity 8, so I'm hoping we'll get some UI toolkit changes also.
Yes, that definitely will bring, especially if we go towards the desktop, we need to have the dialogues, and maybe not the popovers, but at least the dialogues in the sheets, though the sheets are deprecated, but let's just focus on the dialogues. So we would need to have a change on the dialogues, and that probably is going to cause a big API break. But we will try to solve it without, if possible, but we have to investigate how can we solve without any API breaks there. But yeah, so that's basically the dialogues. So far we haven't planned for the next till the end of the year to bring any new components. Till 1504 there is plans to bring the context menu in, which is definitely going to be needed for the desktops.
Mm-hmm.
So you can bring context menu. You can assign context menu to components that can be invoked with a right mouse click, for instance.
Okay. How about menus in general? Are we going to be able to attach like window menus?
Yes, there will be. So far, not in this period.
Okay.
That is a bigger work. However, if you do some application for the desktop, you can use the Qt Quick Controls right now, and that has menu support. So, and you can nicely use these two words together. And uh, the best example was the Qt Creator devices plugin, which I mean the Ubuntu plugin, which was using both of these words together.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. All right. That just leaves me. I'm going to give a few short updates. We don't have Alan Pope on here, who usually gives us some really good updates on what's going on in the core apps.
Yes, we
He's been
do.
traveling to
Actually,
Istanbul.
we have. Actually, we have. It's over there.
Oh, when covered up by a window, I didn't even hear him pop up. Well, in that case, I'll hand it over to Alan before I give my updates.
Damn it. So, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I could have hidden away down in the corner there and you would never have known. So, a few updates for core apps. We've not been landing too much in terms of updates in the sorry, my cat is in the store recently, so that the versions that are in the store and the versions that are on people's devices are pretty stable at the moment. We don't want to upset anything there. One significant one we did update though was the music app. Andrew and Victor and a team of other community developers and contributors have been working hard on the redesign of the music app. So if you are running a recent version of the Ubuntu phone images, you should have the new music app. It looks much better, performs much better. It's just better in every way. Obviously, we may have bugs, so feel free to file bugs against the music app in Launchpad. We already have some files, so it may well be one that you filed may already exist. So do have a quick search for music app in Launchpad and file bugs if you find them. Add screenshots and any necessary data about the kinds of, not necessarily the specific music tracks you may have problems with, but the kind of circumstances that might trigger the bug would be very useful. Moving on to the calendar app, we're landing some final changes that the design team suggested in our recent sprint in Washington DC a few weeks ago. The calendar app developers have been on fire over the last few weeks creating new merge proposals for all of the design changes, and these touch many areas of the application. So from improving performance and the look of the year view to streamlining the add events process to making the week view more readable. There's loads and loads of changes across the whole application, so it's improved quite a lot since Washington, and dramatically since Malta, which was some months back. Once those changes have been reviewed by the design team, we'll get them all landed and get the new version of the calendar in the store. It's not a complete reboot or a complete rewrite. It's a lot of minor changes that add up to making the calendar so much more usable. Another app that's getting a bit of a redesign is the terminal, and this has been done for a number of reasons. We wanted to redesign the UI and make more space available for the terminal. One of the things about the terminal that was seen as a bit of a negative was the fact that we used the header, and that made the terminal feel a little bit cramped, so you couldn't actually fit much on. I mean, using a terminal on a phone is a bit of a niche, but with our current audience of geeks, it's quite a popular app, and so we wanted to make it the best it could be. So we wanted to give more space to the content, which is whatever you've got inside your terminal. We wanted it to be easier to navigate around, and just basically make it more beautiful, more easy to use, and so on. And so we're working on that at the moment. It's not hit the store yet. It's not landed. We're still working on it. Still testing with a bunch of people who use the terminal quite heavily. we're not posting any screenshots or click packages publicly at the moment because we're trying to keep it limited to a bunch of people who use the application heavily. But if you do use the terminal heavily, ping me and I can get you a copy of the click package and where to file bugs and report issues with the terminal, because we realize, same with all of the core apps, people have different use cases for each of these applications. So let me know if you want to be included in that kind of beta test round of the terminal app. Moving on to RSS Reader, Shorts. The Shorts developers have been working on making the UI a little bit lighter so that it's more consistent with the other applications, the other core applications. And reduce the use of the Ubuntu shape as well, which we had some advice from the design team on. And that's probably going to land either this week or next week. Just still doing some testing at the moment. On the file manager, we've added the ability to unpack zip files from within the file manager, which is super useful if you use the web browser to download zip files and you want to be able to unpack them directly on the device rather than opening the terminal and typing unzip and anything retro like that. You can use the file manager and actually just tap on a file, which is super useful. We'll be landing that in the store once again. That's been fully tested a bit later on. A couple of other things which are currently being worked on. The doc viewer we uploaded to the store, so now if you, for example, download a PDF file in the browser, you can send that to the doc viewer and view it within the doc viewer on the phone. That works really nicely. There's still some improvements to be made. Performance, for one. Performance needs to be improved, and Stefano, the lead developer on that, has some ideas on how to improve performance and make the doc viewer better overall. We also want to add support for other file formats, which we'll do over the coming weeks and months. Finally, the email client, Deco. The developers have been working with the Canonical design team to review the design of the application and improve it and make it more consistent with the other applications. So that's only just started in the last couple of weeks. And as with all of the applications, it's an ongoing process, but you can expect to see some improvements to the email client UI over the coming months. And I think that's everything I had for now.
All right. So this doc viewer is looking really nice. That's going to be really handy to have.
Yeah,
and it currently supports. What file formats does it support?
PDF and image files and text files, plain text files. We'll add support for things like Office formats later on.
Okay. Yeah, I was just playing with it, and the Content Hub integration is really nice. So I can actually download a PDF from my Dropbox and open it in there. Very handy.
Awesome.
So I think Nick posted pictures of the terminal app working on the Unity Next desktop. What went into getting that working?
So one of the problems with us having phones that run ARMHF, have ARMHF chips in them, means that we have binary builds of some of the applications. Notably, Clock, Terminal, and File Manager all have binary components in them, which are built for ARMHF. And so when we uploaded to the store, they were uploaded as ARM builds, so that was fine for the phone. But then along came the desktop Unity Next image that we've talked about a lot. And you can also install click packages from the store on the desktop image. But because most people are going to be running the desktop image on a desktop that runs an Intel x86 class of CPU, they won't actually see the ARM builds of apps that are in the store. So, for example, the Clock, File Manager, and Terminal were all missing from the desktop build because we'd only ever built ARMHF binaries. And the tools that we use don't currently allow us to easily create what we call fat packages. And a fat package contains both the ARM binary and the x86, or maybe even multiple x86 binaries. So Nick did a bit of fiddling and managed to manually create a bunch of click packages that contain the ARM binaries and the x86 binaries, and that's what he was demoing in his screenshots.
And is the way he did it going to be an officially supported way, or is this just a temporary hack to make something work?
I think this is a temporary hack because I've been away from my keyboard for a day, so I don't actually know what he did when he posted that video. But I suspect what he did was some manual fudging of these binaries together into one package. But we do need to support that in the tools, the click tools, and also in the SDK. You know, we need to have the ability to press a button and say build a fat package that will compile the ARM binaries, the x86 binaries, or whatever binaries you choose, so that we can then upload to the store and it will be delivered to users who have ARM CPUs or x86 CPUs.
Benjamin, do you know of any plans for that? Has that been worked out yet?
Yeah, there are plans for that, but not really like how we will do it exactly, because yeah, we want to do it in a way that's easily to understand, and yeah, that's not so easy to do, because you have you need different change routes for the different architectures, and in the IDE itself, in the Qt Creator IDE, all of those change routes, they need their own configuration and so on. So it's it's not so easy. Yeah, exactly. But we want to support it, of course. We need to support it. But if you want to have like a fat package, all you have to do is when you have your CMake project files, you compile for each of the architectures, and then you can do a make install into the same directory with each of them. And at the last end, you edit the manifest file to include all the architectures you make installed into that directory, and then run click build on it. So that's basically what the IDE will do automatically for you.
Awesome.
All right. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your updates. I've got a few things to mention from the community side, and then if we don't have any questions, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So for those who don't know, we didn't have one of these 2 weeks ago at our regular time because we were running the Ubuntu Online Summit. You can go back and watch the videos that were recorded there. There's a lot of really good updates on what we've been working on. Also some planning sessions and some presentations showing off some of that work. So if you go to summit.ubuntu.com, you'll be able to go watch all of those. All of those sessions are recorded. There's IRC logs that are part of them, and oftentimes there'll be notes in the Etherpad document. So if you weren't there for the actual event, you can go back and still see what happened. The next announcement I have is that the Ubuntu Pioneers program is officially closed. This is something we started early on when we started growing our number of app developers. We wanted to reward the first 200 people to get apps published in the store, and we have crossed that mark. So now that program's closed, all of the final Pioneers shirts are going out. If you are on this page, developer.ubuntu.com/pioneers, and you haven't gotten an email yet asking about your shirt size and mailing address, please ping me on IRC, mhall119, and I'll make sure that you get that. But those should all be going out soon. If you get a Pioneers shirt, please take a picture of yourself in it, post it on Google Plus or Twitter or wherever else. We love seeing those. We are in the final stretch of our Scope Showdown. We've been running a contest since earlier in November to write scopes for the Unity Dash on the phone, and we've already had quite a few of them land in the store, and they're available to test now. That contest ends December 3rd, so there's about a week left on that. Still enough time to get started if you haven't already. If you have gotten started, now's the time to get the polishing done, get some user testing, make sure it's all good and ready to go for the judges at the end of the showdown. I'm really looking forward to seeing the scopes that are going to come in from that. We've already seen some really nice ones. I've recently been working on some major changes to the developer portal that you'll be seeing soon. In addition to a major theme change, we're moving the whole site from WordPress to Django, which should give us a little more flexibility in what features we can add to it. So there should be some neat stuff coming there. It's open to anybody who wants to help with it. The code's all online. If you've got experience with Python or Django or even CSS and HTML, I could certainly use some help. So again, ping me on IRC, mhall119, if that's something you would be interested in. Our next Ubuntu Engineering Live broadcast will be December 10th, and that will be the last one for the year because the next one's going to be Christmas. So if you can make it to that one, be sure to do so. Otherwise, we will see you all in January. And of course, you could go back and watch this video and any others that were hosted on the Ubuntu On Air account on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ubuntu On Air. And you can follow us on Twitter at Ubuntu On Air. And we have no questions come in yet, so we will go ahead and wrap this up. Wish everybody a happy holidays, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks, everyone, for your updates. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.